Hi guys, and welcome to another video from Stupid It's the Norm, the channel where we demonstrate how to become a millionaire in 10 years whilst earning only minimum wage. And in this video I'm going to explain to you the 4 stages of wealth. Now the first stage is the cost reduction stage, and what we're trying to achieve here is generating more investable income without having to work for it, and that means looking at your current spending. Now I'm not thinking about just cutting out the odd latte here and there. That won't make you a fortune. We're looking at some big numbers. Principally we're looking at your mortgage. If you haven't changed your mortgage in the last couple of years, you're almost certainly on the lender's standard variable rate, the SVR as they call it, which means you're paying far too much for your mortgage. That's the highest rate possible. You ought to get that down to a discount, so talk to a mortgage broker about that. The next thing you want to do is look at your high interest loans you have, which are typically on credit cards or store cards, and if your credit isn't shot and you can take out a personal loan from a bank, do that in order to repay these in one lump sum, and then you'll only have the personal loan to pay off. The personal loan is going to be less than half the interest rate you're currently paying on your credit cards, so you need to do that if you can. What it also means, and one of the greatest benefits, is because the personal loan will have a term on it, typically 5 years, you'll know that after 5 years, providing you make the regular monthly payments, all that credit card debt and debt from store cards will be gone in 5 years, and you'll be debt free. Then you want to think about making some sacrifices and stop going out so much and spending money on socializing. I know it's a pain, I know you don't want to do it, but if you want to achieve something incredible, then you're going to have to make some sacrifices. I was last week down in Kent over the weekend to visit my wife's mother and father down there. We went in a bar, and I don't go out very much because I spend my money on properties only, invested. And we had a large glass of wine, and I had a pint of lager, and it came to 15 quid. And I thought, Jesus, you don't have to have a few rounds of this and then add taxes on, perhaps a takeaway on the way home, to be spending 100 quid or 200 pounds. And if you're doing that once a week, then it adds up. So you need to stop spending your money. And if you just stop doing the bad things, you don't have to do the good things. Just stop doing the dumb things and you become wealthier almost overnight. Housing costs is another big number. Now we've already spoke about changing your mortgage, remortgaging your property if you haven't already done so. But if you're living by yourself and you've got a 2-bedroom flat, you ought to think about renting that room out. Just by renting that one room out to a good friend of yours, you're going to half your housing costs, and again, that's a massive number. And all these things, all these saving money, you don't have to work for, and it means you've got a lot more money to invest at the end of the month. Now, if you looked at all the ways you can save money, you still haven't really made a critical difference to how much money you have to invest. Then comes the next stage, which is the income generation stage. And like it or not, this is going to mean doing more work. It's easy if you're on an hourly rate because you just look at ways you can work more hours. See if there's lots of overtime going, especially at weekends if you get enhanced hours for working weekends. If you don't have an hourly paid job, you have a salary job, then you're going to have to do some work in the evenings. And that's typically low paid stuff, but it doesn't need any skills, it doesn't need training. It's things like driving for Uber at the night time, 4 hours a night, booking a slot with Amazon, do some deliveries for them, going to work behind a bar, delivering pizzas, whatever you have to do to generate more income. Now consider this, if you just work 4 hours extra a night from Monday to Friday, you get a 50% rise in your income. You get 8 hours sleep and every weekend off, and you continue to do that for 10 years, you'd probably be a millionaire. Now what's hard about that? So you've looked at ways at cutting costs, and now you're working all the hours of God's sense to generate more money to invest. Next comes the accumulation stage. Now the accumulation stage is where you start to become wealthy. It's what you do with the money you've saved, what you do with the money you've earned extra, and where you put that will make you wealthy. Your job won't make you wealthy. Your savings in the bank won't make you wealthy. You need to use a wealth accumulator or a wealth fund to put this money into to make you wealthy. And they are typically either stocks and shares or property. So with a choice of 2 funds, it makes the decision easier to make. And what you want to consider is the stocks and shares will give you the long, easy route to wealth, but you're going to have to put a lot of time in terms of investment time, not work time. Your time's going to be 10, 20, 30 years maybe to make that million. Or you can then put it in the short, hard route, which is property. And I've always taken the attitude that you go hard or you go home. So I choose the property side. But that's just me, that's not you. If you choose to use the slow, easy route, then it's stocks and shares, ISA, an ETF, maybe a pension scheme if it's good enough and has low charges and a great rate of return. Those things ought to be considered too. So let's fast forward 10 or 30 years, if you're doing it in stocks and shares, to the next stage, which is the wealth sustainability stage. This is the final stage. Now, it's a little premature to talk about this in depth because you're not there yet, and I'm not there yet. I've got another 5 years to go. But I'm going to touch on some subjects you might want to brush up on, look on YouTube and how to do it just for when you get there. Or you can continue watching my videos because I'll get there 5 years ahead of you, and I'll tell you all the mistakes that I have made so you don't have to make them. So what this wealth sustainability stage is all about is protecting the money. You've worked 10 years to become wealthy, or 20, 30 years you've done it stocks and shares, and now you've got it. You want to protect it. You don't want anyone to take it from you, and there are people who want to take that from you, people who are jealous of what you've done, what you've achieved, and want the fast, easy route, which is to find a way to get it off you. So you need to protect that. You have to decide. No, don't let anybody else decide. You decide who gets your money whilst you're alive, and also once you're dead. Now, to protect yourself, you're going to need some expert advice. You're going to have to talk to somebody like a solicitor or an accountant who's skilled in this type of protection. And they will talk to you about things like wills, so you can protect your wealth when you die and you decide who it goes to, and then trusts or offshore companies and the like. But it's these things that will help you protect your money. Now, one of the other things I'll also suggest is you don't, once you've made all this money, then go and splurge it all. You want to start building your money so it's passed down to generations, to your children. And the best way to achieve that is not to spend it all, not do what normal people would do, which is, I would suggest, is you live off 50%. Don't spend 100% of it. I know you've worked hard and know you want to enjoy it, but believe me, once you've accumulated all this money, there'll be enough money there that you won't be able to spend in the time you have left. So I would suggest you save 50% of it, reinvest 50% of it to continue to grow that wealth, that pile of money you've established so far, so that your children can enjoy it. And you can then live off the 50% that's left. Now, I think in 5 years' time that my income will be somewhere around the £16,000 mark. So I'll be living off £8,000, and I can live a fantastic lifestyle. The lifestyle up until that stage I've only imagined. I can do that on £8,000. I don't need to spend 16. The other 8 will go and remain invested, to reinvest, to save myself taxes, so I'm not spending it all. And that will make not just me wealthier, because next year it'll mean I can bring up more money, but it means when I die, my children will have it. And by then I'll have taught them how to manage that money, so they will continue to do that down the generations. So that's it, guys, the 4 stages of wealth. Have a look at them, see which one you're in right now. I'm still in the accumulation stage. If you want any help, ask questions below, or you can drop me an email at abnormal@stupidasthenorm.co.uk. In the meantime, don't be stupid and don't be normal, guys.